and what we do. Okay, Green Apple Education Foundation is a student-run nonprofit organization located in San Ramon. Its mission is to promote technology and innovation amongst youth of all ages and backgrounds, to raise awareness for education for underprivileged children, and to introduce young adults and young students actually to opportunities that leverage their passion for technology. And this is our website. In a bit, we will have the San Ramon Mayor, Mr. Dave Hudson, give a quick talk to help us kick off our hackathon. So we're not sure if he's here yet though. So. And after that, I will talk about our procedure and a few things that we should, that the members should, I mean, the teams should keep a lookout for, and we will get into the presentation soon. In the meantime, if anyone has any questions about anything coming up that is besides, the presentation order and things I will go over in a bit, you can just ask in the chat, and I will. Right now, I can just put the links for our hackathon website and Green Apple website, as well as our email. So in the future, if you have any questions, you can check these places. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead with explaining a few rules and procedures now, and I will get to everything else. So the first, I will talk about a kind of general procedure for our hackathon today. One team member will share the screen for the presentation, and the sharing settings are enabled right now. And if you have any technical issues, or that you won't be able to share your screen due to no member of your team can share their screen due to any reason at all, you can just, if you know beforehand, just try to message me with your team name and your presentation link that I can access, so I can share the screen for you. And otherwise, one team member should share your screen for your presentation to make everything easier. And then there will be a 5-minute time limit for the presentation. It can be shorter than that, but try to keep it under 5 minutes, or at 5 minutes. And I will give a 1-minute warning in the chat for presentations. So when you're at 4 minutes, I'll just say 1 minute left. And there will be 2 minutes for a Q&A with the judges. So if you have any questions about that, you can just ask in the chat. And then Here we have the presentation order, which I can also put this order in the chat, so you can go back and reference. But all the teams, you can check when you're going right now. And after you're done presenting, you are welcome to leave the meeting, but feel free, and you're actually encouraged to stay and watch the rest of the presentations. Since the order's like this, so if you're going first, like, you can still stay to watch the rest of the presentations. And then for other information, okay, so if you submitted a video and you'd like me to play that, I can play that. Because as long as I have the link, I can play the video. 大家的在尽力操练的你的旷野经历的生活里面，你觉得最难的是哪一部分？然后我想知道大家。So if you have any more questions, just
这个我本来想拿来就是我们
make sure that
第三个问题是在约翰那个部分，就是因为最终有一
are not presenting, or if you don't have a question, make sure that you don't accidentally unmute yourself. Okay, so you don't disturb everyone else's presentations. Yes, so I can go over this again. For the presentations, one team member should share their screen of the presentation. And if you can't do that for any reason, you can just you can send me your team name and your presentation link, and I can share for you. And you don't have to have your cameras on, but it's encouraged. It's like, since you're going to be presenting, it's just better if we can see you. But if you really don't feel comfortable, that's fine.
Hi, we were gonna do a presentation, but we don't see our app on there.
Oh, so this is the list that we have from all the submissions as of yesterday night, actually. So can you just send me your team name and presentation link in the chat, and then we'll see if there was a mistake, or we can just have you present last.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, now I'll just put the presentation order in the chat, and then we'll start with the presentation. So Bit Health, just make sure you're ready to present. Session, but I can show that later. So now we're going to go ahead with the first presentation. Bit Health, one team member, you can share your screen.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sophia Shao, and today I'm here to present our project in Bit Health on behalf of my team, Bit Health Management, with Joshua Edwards, Michael Liu, and me. Did you know that 36.5% of all adults are considered obese? Obesity is a serious issue as it can cause type 2 diabetes and many variations of cancer. Obesity in general also leads to a lower quality of life. Also, according to a study from UNC, 7 out of 8 adults in the US are considered to have poor metabolic health. This can lead to diabetes and heart diseases. BitHealth's goal is to improve the user's health and to help prevent such illnesses with statistics, motivation, and the user's own culmination. BitHealth aims to be a simple yet powerful fitness app that calculates calorie intake, allows users to see their progress, and motivates them to stay on track to better health, leading to a better life. Our project is unique as it focuses not just on physical attributes on health, such as nutrition and exercise, but also the mental aspects, encouraging users to stay healthy and motivated to be honest with themselves. Now let's take a look at BitHealth's user-friendly interface and features. Sadly, our other teammate Michael couldn't make it here today, so instead Joshua will be speaking.
Hello judges, my name is Joshua Edwards and I will be going over the different functions of our app. Let me start with our intake tracker. This feature will be a set of multiple calculators in which the user will input what foods they have been eating and will then see the total amount of different nutrients. For example, if a user were to eat a sandwich, our tracker would then show the user the total amount of sugars, sodium, carbohydrates, and other nutritional data. Then, as the user continues to input food, our tracker will create a chart for each nutrient, showing the trend in the user's diets. The purpose behind the intake tracker is to show the user how much of a certain nutrient they are actually taking. Many people don't comprehend just how much of something can be in a beverage or food, such as sodium in potato chips or sugar in soda. Our intake tracker will hopefully allow the user to realize their poor health choices and move them in a step in the right direction.
Next, we have the fitness goals. Fitness goals are both self-set and tailor-set by our personal assistant feature, which Joshua will be explaining soon. The user can set both long-term and short-term goals, allowing the user to eventually reach their desired health. The fitness goals are there to create a sense of urgency and importance towards the user's health so that they can work to improve it.
Finally, the one feature that makes us different from all other intake trackers is our personal assistant. Our personal assistant is an entirely AI-based function that will interact with the user to act as a personal trainer. The personal assistant will give praise, motivation, and critique whenever necessary, depending on the results of the intake tracker. It will help in goal setting, offering friendly advice on how to set appropriate goals, as well as giving users their own small goals they can easily achieve. Finally, the personal assistant will offer health advice to the users in order to get their health on a better path. One example of this is offering food substitutions, telling the user what they could eat for the same nutritional value but healthier. However, this feature is still in the works and is at the moment only theoretical. These three functions flow together to create a user experience unlike any other platform has before. Being able to see what you're actually eating, setting self-goals so that's more likely you'll do better, and having someone with you 24/7 to boost your self-esteem creates an environment where anyone who tries to become healthy will become healthy.
Pretty neat, isn't it? But just talking won't be enough for us. Head over to the website pleasegivesource.github.io/health-bit for a live demo to test out the features yourself. Michael implemented a simple prototype for what BitHealth could be. Now bear in mind that this is just a prototype. With a little more time, BitHealth could have all the wonderful features Josh explained before. Okay, everyone, seems that is all we have for you guys today. Thank you for your time, and on behalf of everyone here at BitHealth Management, we wish you better health and a better life. Judges, do you have any questions?
Hello, hi, this is Jingming. I just want to ask, this is pretty good in terms of structure and how you are putting it together. What do you think was the key to make this successful in your mind? To make, let's say, like hundreds, like 100,000 people going to use it. What's going to be key to actually make it successful?
I think it's a good question. I think a lot of it will be marketing and getting BitHealth out into the public. So that could be online ads or possible sponsorships, but being able to get our app into the public so that it can actually help people become healthy will make us successful.
Oh, okay, so yeah, I think, yeah. So essentially what I'm trying to get, what make you unique? I mean, the key, I mean, assume that you already have marketing, have budget, everything else. So what's unique that will make you, actually people gonna adopt this? So I think that's my more what I'm getting at, yeah. So it may be just personalization, like more relevant to actual people's need. People are different in terms of Asian, white, Hispanic, whatever. Yeah, so. Anyway, that's pretty good, very impressive. You think you're on mute. Yeah.
Hi, this is Edwin. I'm one of the judges. I was taking a look at your prototype and it's pretty cool that you have something going. I guess my only piece of advice would be to take a look at the color contrasts on the website and make sure that it's, I guess, easy to read on the eye. But otherwise, I think it's pretty cool and I'm excited to see where you take it.
Yeah, thank you for the feedback. We will tell our other teammate, Michael, who created this prototype, and hopefully he'll implement it.
Hi, this is Eric, one of the other judges. You say good job. I liked how you have a working prototype here. One thing is I checked it out. I think one bit of advice is just test it a bit more. I think it looks fine. It's simple to use, like the buttons and all that. But like, for example, you probably should have a back button some places. Or like, if I try to set a goal and then I can't exit out, I can only add more goals until I reset the page. So, but otherwise, this is a great project. Yeah, good job, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, Michael made this quite quickly, so maybe you can attest everything up. Yeah, thank you.
We're just gonna give the judges like a minute or so to finalize the scoring. So let me just check with that. Okay, just one more minute. Okay, so the second presentation, can you start preparing so you're ready to present and share your screen and present suicide prevention? Your team, can one of your members prepare to share their screen?
Eric's in it.
Again, can the second team, suicide prevention, please prepare to present? Okay, so I see that the second team, they actually have submitted a video for their project. So I'm just going to play that now for the judges to see. Okay, so second presentation will start now.
I don't think we can hear it.
Our suicide prevention app will
Okay,
There you go. Now we can hear it.
I'm just going to start from the beginning.
Hello, my name is Humogu. My name is Aaron Lee. And my name is Leo Zhao. Our app is called Suicide Prevention, and it will help parents track their child's location. Suicide is a massive problem around the world. Last year, almost 46,000 people died. That's one death every 11 minutes. The saddest part is that these deaths are completely preventable, but not everybody has the proper care. Our suicide prevention app will help parents track where their kids are and prevent them from committing suicide. Here's how we built the app. We use MIT App Inventor, maps, databases, online APIs, and location sensing. As for testing the app, we used Android devices and physically moved locations and traveled to bodies of water. Here's the software development lifecycle. We have planning, design, implementation, and testing. And here are the job responsibilities of each team member. So I created a menu to manipulate the map parameters, and I improved the UI.
I generated and saved the parent-child code and retrieved location data from the child's phone in real time and saved all of these into the database.
I displayed the location, the child's location on the map, and secured the communication between the child and parent. We all worked on the video and presentation. On the homepage of the parent app, there are two main features: Code Generator, a feature for newer users of the app, and the Code Enter, where the parents can enter the code to begin tracking their child's location. The parents can view their child's location using this map. The map from the previous slide has parameters that can be changed, including phone number, radius, address, and time interval. The home screen for the child app has the following components implemented: a place for the child to enter the code, and a location saving feature that will run on a custom interval.
Implementation. We have three main functions: information saving, maps, and tracking. And some main components we use in these features are lists, variables, dictionaries, functions, CloudDB, and a lot of map functions too. This is our checklist for our testing. So if our app is able to successfully pass all of these tests, that means our app is functional. The results of our app was able to successfully perform and execute tracking the child's location, notifying parents or guardians by sending text messages, tracking dangerous locations, generating custom codes for each parent-child user of the app, and using this information to make a map. So this is our demo video. The parent wants to track the child. They can input the code and track. I'm going to create a code. Summary and ending thoughts. The app is fully functional and helping the parent and children for better mental health and better life. We overcame many challenges and became even more interested in coding and technology. We also learned that we can use technology to change the world.
Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Any questions?
Okay, so if the team is not here, unfortunately, we won't really be able to ask questions. So instead, I'll just give the judges a few minutes to finalize the scoring. And the next presentation is another video, so there's nothing, I will also share that video. There's going to be approximately 1 more minute for the judge scoring, and I didn't mean to, not allow the judges from giving any feedback. So if there's any judges that really think there's a necessary piece of feedback, you can just say it right now. But of course, we won't really be able to have the team answer the questions. Okay, now I'm going to play the video for the next presentation.
Hi, my name is Matthew Wang, and today I'll be presenting the Save the Bee project. About 659,000 people in the United States die from heart disease each year. That's 1 in every 4 deaths. This is a serious issue, and many of these deaths could have been prevented with a call to 911 or informing emergency contacts to help. Lots of these deaths most likely came when somebody did not have access to quick help, leaving them not to be assisted and helpless. Think about how many lives we could save if we had just known that someone was having a heart attack. With our app, Save the Beat, we can work to reduce these numbers and achieve a healthier community overall. So here's a brief description of this app. The Save the Beat app helps you save yourself under various heart conditions. It also provides information about how to prevent heart diseases. So here are some of its functionalities. You can call 911. You can also inform your emergency contacts and your friends nearby. You can do both call 911 and also inform your emergency contacts and your friends nearby. You can shake the phone to send help messages to your contacts and your friends nearby. You can drop your phone to inform your emergency contacts and your friends nearby. And if any of the things above was an accident, you can send false alarm messages to your contacts and your friends nearby. Let's say you're conscious and you realize you are having heart attack symptoms. There's a call 911 button that allows you to call 911 from the app. You can press the call for help button to send messages to your emergency contacts and your friends nearby. You can also both call 911 and press the call for help button for extra support. If you're about to lose consciousness while talking with a 911 operator, press the call for help button to inform your emergency contacts. If you're about to lose consciousness and are unable to call 911 and you want to send text messages to your emergency contacts for help, you can send it by pressing the call for help button. The messages go to the 3 emergency contacts and your friends nearby. The 3 emergency contacts are set up before using the app. Friends' addresses and phone numbers are uploaded to your app. If you just opened this app and you're falling down on the floor because you're fainting, your phone falls with you, messages will be sent to your emergency contacts and your nearby friends. If you feel like you're currently having a heart attack and you cannot call 911 or press the call for help button, you can throw or shake the phone to send a text messages to emergency contacts and your friends nearby. If you're not having a heart attack and it's a false alarm, you can press the false alarm button and select yes in order to send false alarm messages to your contacts and your nearby friends. This app detects your current location and your friends nearby. Here's the instruction page. You can click the listen to instructions button to listen, or you can just read it.
Set up emergency contacts first and upload your friends' addresses and phone numbers. Call 911 button info.
If you're having a heart attack and you're currently conscious, you can press the call 911 button. For demonstration purposes, we used a different phone number. You have the option to cancel the 911 call if you don't want to. If you are conscious, you can press the call for help
I'm having
button
a heart
to
attack.
send text messages to your emergency contacts and your friends nearby. If you're about to lose consciousness, you can also press this button. If you accidentally press the call for help
False
button,
alarm.
you can press
I'm
the false
okay.
alarm button to notify your emergency contacts and nearby friends that you are okay. You can click on the address link in the text message to open up Google Maps. Here, it will give you the location of the person who needs help. You can store up to 3 emergency contacts. If you're unable to press the 911 button or the call for help button, you can shake the phone to send the text messages to your emergency contacts. You can throw or drop the phone to contact your emergency contacts and nearby friends. You can find your friends nearby at your current location. You can call your friend if you click on the red marker icon. We also provide useful information on how to prevent heart attacks, what to do when symptoms have begun. You can also go back to the main page. How to prevent a heart attack. Signs and symptoms. When to contact a doctor. Treatment. This is the reference slide. Thank you for watching and have a better health and better life, and happy Father's Day.
Okay. Again, we'll just give a few minutes for the judges to finalize scoring and provide feedback if they wish to. But yes. Oh, yes. So the next team is called Link Clinic. So if your team members are here, please prepare to start sharing your presentation and present. Oh, but they also submitted a video. So if no members react, I will play the
Yeah, you
video.
can play video.
There are
two or three of us here right now.
There's 3 of us.
And I'm going to be sharing the video.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Charlie Year, and welcome to the Clinic. This is by Alvin Chen, me, and Ivan Lee.
Is this clear? Can you guys hear
Yes.
this?
Yes, it is.
I'm going to restart it.
Hello, my name is Charlie Year, and welcome to the Clinic. This is by Alvin Chen, me, and Ivan Lee. The issue is people usually cannot access doctors immediately as it is desired in case of health issues. During COVID-19 pandemic, it becomes even harder to see a doctor. Patients often fail to follow doctors' instructions for medication or exercise. There's no easy way for doctors to remind or follow up with patients. According to the New York Times, the average wait times for doctor appointments across the U.S. are as long as 72 days and keep increasing. This graph is a graph of the most populated cities in the U.S. Our solution is patients can inquire and send health concerns to doctors, which go into a database. Once a doctor reviews the message, the patient and doctor can communicate to solve the health concerns. The patient does not need to find or travel to a hospital or clinic. Doctors will be able to set up reminder and receive feedback from patients for their medication or level of exercises. Patients can use the app to keep personal health data and record their exercises. Materials. The main features is MIT App Inventor, cloud database for storing reports and account info, Wi-Fi/internet connection, TinyWebDB records schedules for triggering Typhon alarm. The side features is a pedometer, step counter to help the patient exercise, a Typhon alarm extension to send notifications to remind a patient taking medicine. And this is how the system works. This is the development cycle: planning, design, implementing, testing, refine, back to step 3. Implementing, testing, refine, back to step 3. Planning the constraints and features. Our constraints are that the app requires Wi-Fi and it doesn't work if MIT cloud servers are down. Features are the patients can submit inquiries. Doctors can view the entire message list, messaging room for patients and doctors to communicate, exercise helper to make sure that the patient reaches their fitness, and a reminder system that can sound the alarm of the patient's device. Our app contains 4 screens: the login screen, the patient screen, the doctor screen, and the messaging screen. We did some tests and this is the flowchart of the messaging, and pause here if you want to look at our features flowchart. Results and demo. The results are our app. Our app is able to successfully transmit information to and from the MIT Cloud database, meaning that patients and doctors can log into their accounts. Patient records can be submitted to the database. Patients and doctors can communicate with each other. The plan worked successfully to regulate the patient when reaching their objective. And the alarm set up at the correct time to remind patients what to do. This is our demo. Here I am submitting a report to the database and sending the message hi. Now, as a doctor, I am viewing the message and replying hi once again. congratulate us. And after we achieved our objective, you have achieved your goal. It once again will congratulate us. This is our timer. And as you see, it is sounding right now. Part 4, future plans. Potential changes for the future. Archiving old conversations. Add functions to send files in chat. Add a function to help patients and doctors solve urgent medical needs. Thanks. Any questions?
That's the end of our video.
Okay, thank you. Since your team is here, we're going to go ahead with the Q&A portion. So there's going to be 2 minutes for that.
Hi, this is Eric, one of the judges. I'd like to ask about how's your build process? So like, for example, your app contains a lot of features, let's say like the pedometer or like the chat room function. How did you go about building these? Like what did you like reference when you wanted to build them? You said that you want to use the MIT App Inventor, but could you explain that?
We each did like a different part of the project, and then I like put it together, if you know what I mean.
Right, yeah, makes sense. For your project, by the way, thank you.
I guess one last comment I'll say is I think this is a very important problem these days. I think I've experienced this problem myself, and I think a lot of my friends and elder friends have also experienced this problem. So I think it's a good problem to tackle, and I hope you continue to build it out.
Yeah, I
Thank
also have a quick word to say. Like I guess one thing I should ask is I was very interested in like your like pedometer feature and how you could like work with your doctors to set goals. So could you elaborate more on like how that would work for like doctors to like make their patients do like more physical activity?
So I think like basically we have this pedometer which allows the patient to exercise, so doctors can set goals for their patients and like set up their pedometer, so basically making them exercise more.
Doctors can also like set reminders for them to walk like some steps. They can like remind them, so they, like some patients, they forget to do it, but with the reminder they won't forget.
Okay, I see. And I would also like to just say that I enjoyed like the features in this app, and I think that it is like also something that we experience where there's like no sort of app that we can use to communicate with our doctors. So thank you for that.
Okay, so now we're just gonna have a quick break to allow our San Ramon Mayor, Mr. Dave Hudson, to give a quick word for us, encouraging, all of our participants since he's here now.
Well, encouraging doesn't sound real good when I've missed half the meeting. I really apologize. This is one of the downsides you get with Zoom. Believe it or not, more than 50% of my meetings get canceled or rescheduled. And I have you down as 4 o'clock, which when I looked at which I should have done before, looked at my schedule, that's a graduation tonight for police and fire, which got rescheduled. But I was really looking forward to this, not only just to hear what everybody had to say and hope I can convince people to do this live eventually. But I got to where I started looking at what Hackathon does, and I wrote the notes down on a desk that I was going to have an hour to look at. Now I can't find the darn thing. And it had to do with renewables, because I think the future is going to be, at least through this decade, loaded up on who can come up with the answers for renewable energy. We've been doing the renewable trash, what to do with it. It was going to be turned into energy, and then the state pretty much saying we don't want natural gas because of emissions. But there's a lot of problems to be solved. And when I listened to you last year, I thought we really had some people that were on top of it. And I was really looking forward to hear your stories. So start over again and I'll listen. But welcome back to Hackathon, and I hope you'll give me another chance to be here on time next year. Thank you, Amanda.
Hey, thank you so much for coming. And for your support these years for our activities and for all these students who are working on their passions. And so yeah, you're welcome to stay and watch the rest of the presentations because we still have quite a few to get through. And the next presentation, they've submitted a video, so I'm just going to play that.
Good afternoon. I'm Alfred and this is Chanson. This year's theme is Better Health, Better Life. When we first heard of the problem, we instantly thought of apps to support the user to do healthy routines, such as doing fitness or eating balanced food. After some time of discussion, we realized that to achieve a healthier lifestyle, it is important to have a good education, since it will help them to make decisions with more rational reasoning. Thus, it will make sense to create an app to help the user's education. Therefore, the idea we come up with was a Discord robot. When it is requested to ask a type of question, it will give the selected question type for the user to answer. And if the answer is correct, the user will level up and make the question slightly harder. The reason we have chosen to create the Discord bot was, first, many people use this app, so it is easy to be accessed by a large number of users. Even if they don't have the app, they can simply download it. The second reason is that it's super convenient to set up. It will only require a few clicks to import our bot to a new Discord server. And lastly, the third reason is that it can be used for multiplayer. User will be able to compete with friends and family members to see who will have the most points. So after brainstorming, we concluded using Python to code the Discord robot and call it Math Royale. Our aim is to help people to get better in mathematics, so they will have a better understanding in real-life application. Looking further into the future, it is also great for people to have knowledge so they can get a more paid job, thus allowing them to have a healthier lifestyle. Here we have a demo of our project.
Hello, my name is Jansen. Today we are going to be explaining how the Math Royale bot works. This is our main.py editor, our Replit editor, and when we run it, it's going to say run in a moment. For example, here it says status, I'm now online. We can do division, answer 4, will sound right because I am right. I can do multiplication, answer 2, or answer, just let me put answer 2, and then it's also correct, so I'm correct. And then I can do addition, and then I can answer 56 because it is 56. And finally, I can do addition again, answer 40, that's wrong, and I'll put wrong with the red and green banners. Finally, I will have subtraction, and then this will be answer 6, and then I'm correct. I can also check my balance, then bow, and I have 74 points, 2 levels, and a total of 174 points. You get addition, 1 point, for subtraction, 2 points, division, 3 points, and finally multiplication, 5 points.
The demo we have shown you can still be developed with more features and subject other than math, like information on health advice or first aid. Therefore, it has a large potential and will be more health beneficial once fully completed. Thank you for listening to our presentation.
Okay, so since this team wasn't able to attend because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, these students are actually from Australia, and because of the time difference, they weren't able to present in person. So the judges will just give a few minutes, like 1 or 2 minutes for finalizing the scoring, and then we will move on to the next presentation because we can't have the Q&A. Yeah, and I think this is actually a really, a positive side of being forced to move our event to a virtual event online, because now we're seeing a lot of different teams from around, even like in different states. The Save the Beat, that their team was from Texas actually, and so this team was from Australia, and we're able to have a much larger reach for younger students who want to start learning or just dabbling in these new interests. So yeah, just 1 more minute for scoring. And our next team, shooting averter, we would please just prepare to present if your members are here.
Yeah, give me a sec to just quickly share my screen. Here. All right, so our presentation is on wait, sorry, hold on, let me turn on my video real quick. Our presentation is on the shooting averter by me, Jonathan, Sean, and Russell. So first, to introduce the members, we all live in California and we have common interests such as video games, coding, and this is mostly our first hackathon.
First, there has been a huge problem in the world lately, and there's been an increase in shootings over the past few years, many of which could have been prevented if social media posts were noticed, such as the Buffalo shooting, where an 18-year-old man had social media posts that revealed that he'd been planning his attacks for months. If we had paid more attention to this, we could have easily prevented it by calling the authorities. The importance of this is that shootings harm thousands of students each year and leaves hundreds dead. It saves lives and protects people's emotional and physical well-being because nobody wants to see their family members die or have to have that kind of stress. In fact, more than 100 Americans die to firearms each day, and some of these, such as the Buffalo shootings, were on social media, so could have been prevented. The solution to this, we found that a chatbot could scan through social media platforms and look for suspicious activity, such as keywords or pictures that are related to gun violence. And it can create warnings that are reviewed by supervisors, who can decide whether these should be taken seriously. And if so, they can inform law enforcement. Our code is here, and essentially what it does is that we can detect first 3 words, shoot, gun, and kill. We detect these words in the moderator user interface and are able to review the context of these messages and see if they are like video games or something or a real threat. And the report button, if decided that it's a real threat, can report it to the authorities. So here you can see me sending a bunch of messages with these flagged words, and it shows up here. And it shows up here when you click see flag messages. The approach, we started with brainstorming different ideas and analyzing how important our impact of the idea is. After considering different solutions, we decided that the shooting averter was the most impactful solution. And after choosing the project, we worked on the project proposal where we answer different types of questions. After the 2 papers of answering questions shown to the right, we started working on the presentation. And after finishing the presentation, we had a basic idea of how our code should work and finished the code, then ran and tested it. So for a project schedule and the future, we started brainstorming on June 6th, came up with the idea on June 10th, and created the presentation and code from June 15th to June 17th. And after the completion, like later on, what we could do is that we could add components that help the bot be more accurate, such as like more keywords that are flagged. We can finish up the entire project, like the report button and testing. We can also add pictures that it could detect, because again, this is a pretty big thing. Like if you send a picture of a firearm, we could detect that. And once the amount of platforms the bot is on starts increasing, since we don't have that much manpower, we can potentially add a machine learning model to automate the process. So we don't need that many people. For a budget, we need to collaborate with the social media platforms. Thus, we need to spend money to like collaborate with them. And for a budget, we decided that under $10,000 for now would be good to get them on these social media platforms. We plan to add a login function asking for information like a username or password, so we can detect whether it's a moderator or not, files to keep track of everyone's social media account across platforms, just so we can see like, oh, this account is suspicious, so we need to check this account out just in case. We also plan to add more words and phrases, and we can differentiate between a normal user interface and moderator user interfaces too, and make it user-friendly to supervise and to be able to notify law enforcement of suspicious activity going on based on social media platforms, even for normal users who could potentially see these pictures. So yeah, that's our project. Thank you for listening, and thank you for listening.
Thank you. Great job. And the judges, if you have any feedback or questions, please ask now.
Yeah, I have a question. So, are there any features that you have implemented or are planning to implement to like help prevent against like trolls that are trying to spread misinformation or just trying to scare people on the internet, like fake?
Yeah, for what we're doing right now is like we can have moderators to see, like they make a post, right? And we can check the context of the message. And just in case, even if it's a troll, we should still be careful because we don't know whether it's a troll or not.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
Yeah, I have another question. Are there any preventative measures being taken to protect the mental health of the moderators? I'd imagine it gets really, emotionally and mentally exhausting having to filter that kind of content all day.
Yeah, I think we could have like an extra like side therapeutic job just to like be able to, and this could be completely voluntary. So whenever you want to take a break, you could also do that.
Hey, Leon, great idea. One comment that I had to make is that I think that this problem is huge. And I actually noticed as well that a lot of these, I guess, tragedies could have been seen from social media posts. My question is, who are going to be the users of this app? Like, who exactly are you going to delegate as the moderators? Because I'm just trying to think of who would be, volunteering their time to look through these posts. The first thing that comes to mind is, probably the government. But I was wondering if you had something in mind.
Yeah, so I was like voluntary, like I was basically for the users of this, it could be like users across social media platforms such as Twitter, because like this is a bot. We just created a test chat because we couldn't actually release this to Twitter yet or something like that. But the moderators, I'd imagine, yeah, like volunteers who want to keep people safe, maybe like police or something that could scan through these. And maybe who want to volunteer to keep their children safe as well.
Gotcha. Sounds good. Thanks.
So this is Jingming. Actually, I was thinking of the same thing a while ago, just when the shooting happened. The key thing is here is the massive scale. I mean, you're going to encounter a massive scale of like the signs, like alerts, things like that. So just purely from technology perspective, you have to think a way of how you really use technology to solve this problem versus a moderator, which is going to be very, very small fraction. So I think it's a very good problem. It needs to be solved. And it needs social platform like Facebook and Google to actively participate in solving this. But I encourage you to keep on going through this thread and really seriously thinking of how to solve this problem, use technology. Yeah.
I'm sorry, was that a question or?
It's a suggestion. It's just a suggestion. I think it's a good problem to deal. I think don't underestimate the scale. The scale. Yeah.
I said that we would probably like implement eventually a machine learning model to like automate the process, so we wouldn't have like huge amounts of people just looking through these.
Yeah, it's good direction, probably more than that. But anyway, so there's something I wouldn't like push things on you, but that just keep going on working on it. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so now we're going to transition to the next project, which is called stress detection. So yes, hi, please just prepare to share your screen and present.
All right, can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right, so good morning, everyone. My name is Ayush, and my project is a device that can help monitor stress levels in real time. And so the purpose of this is because all over the nation, stress levels are rising, partially due to the pandemic. And a lot of people can sometimes struggle to manage their stress. And as of now, an estimated 84% of all adults in the United States experience prolonged stress on a daily basis. And one big step to dealing with your stress is knowing when you're stressed. And a lot of people can be stressed without realizing that they're getting overwhelmed. And my project is a device that can non-invasively measure and estimate how stressed someone is in real time. And even though there are other similar devices, the goal for my project is to be more accurate by using data directly from the human body and also using multiple sensors to cross-check the data. So I built a prototype for this, and it uses a Raspberry Pi 4, though it could work with other cheaper alternatives, and the Muse 2 headband and a Grove galvanic skin response sensor. So the Muse 2 headband, it uses EEG technology, which can be used to measure a user's brainwaves by just placing electrodes on their skin. And the GSR sensor indirectly measures how sweaty the user's skin is. And sweat usually corresponds, the more sweat there is on the skin usually corresponds to higher levels of sweat. So for the EEG, so different types of brainwaves correspond to different levels of sweat. And by calculating the ratios between different brainwaves, you can sort of estimate how stressed someone is. However, one problem with the EEG is that since it's taking data from their skin and not directly from their brain, the raw data is very noisy. So I had to do a lot of filtering on the data. So I used functions like the Hanning window and a Fourier transform in order to remove as much noise as possible. Now for the GSR sensor, I just use it to verify the data from the EEG sensor, since the EEG sensor does have a lot of noise. And the GSR sensor just passes a small current through the user's finger, and based on the amount of current that actually passes through, you can calculate how sweaty their skin is. And as I mentioned before, higher stress levels usually correspond to more sweating, especially in the palms. And on the right here, you can see that this is my actual prototype. On the bottom, you can see the headband that you can wear, which will measure EEG. And on the right, you can see the Grove GSR sensor, which measures how sweaty your skin is. Now, in order to test this device, I got a couple of volunteers and I induced some stress on them. And I used 4 different tests for this. So at the start, they were staying relaxed, which I took as the ground state. And then I had a math test, an IQ test, and a difficult reading. And each of these would become progressively harder to correspond to increasing stress levels. And the results showed a strong correlation between the GSR data and stress. So as you can see at the start, when the user is relaxed, the GSR values are pretty high. Though with each progressive test, the value dropped lower and lower. And it's clear that as the user became more stressed, the GSR value dropped. And similarly, I used beta and alpha waves from the EEG to measure stress. Now, many studies that have been done before have showed that the ratio between beta and alpha waves correspond to stress. And though this data is noisy, I took the average of this data in a 5-second window, and that average is shown as the red line. And as you can see at the bottom, the trend for the beta and alpha as the test became harder is upwards. And just here's a table summarizing that data. So you can see the 90th percentile and you can see a clear trend. And all of this was done to show that this is possible. And with a little bit of calibration, this device can accurately estimate someone's stress. So the results from the EEG show a clear correlation. But one problem I was facing is that there is a lot of noise in the data. And if the user is moving around, that can cause the electrodes to move around a little bit and add even more noise. Now, I did filter out a majority of this by using AI filters, but there can be more done. Additionally, the GSR test is also prone to outside factors. For example, if someone's exercising, that can cause them to be stressed, even though, that can cause them to sweat, even though they may not necessarily be stressed. So that should also be factored into it. Now, during the more stressful tests, I noticed a decrease in alpha waves and an increase in beta waves. Now, alpha waves have been shown to correspond to relaxation, and beta waves correspond to how much someone's concentrating on something. And the ratio between them represents anxiousness. And so even though some similar devices already exist, my prototype uses data from multiple sensors, so it makes it much more accurate than other products. And additionally, all of the hardware used to make this is of low cost. So if this was mass produced, it would be really cheap to create. And also with some filtering, I can make it so that the user doesn't need to be still when using this device. So it could be something that they could use in their daily lives, not just once or twice. So in conclusion, the device did work as expected, and I was able to analyze both EEG and GSR data successfully. And in order to improve this even more, I could also analyze ECG or electrocardiogram data. And now that's just measuring variations in your heart rate, which is also another common way that people can measure stress medically. Now, due to time constraints for this project, the user experience is not optimized, and that could also be something I work on in the future. And this could also be used in medical applications, especially for people with mental disorders. For example, ADHD, as this could help nurses recognize when they need to intervene. Anyways, thank you for your time. And does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, you mentioned the low cost of this or like of your design, and I've actually done like some research on this like electroencephalogram headband technology in the past, and for like my research, like generally these like prototypes were very expensive. So do you sort of have a price estimate for like how expensive your design is?
Yeah, so first of all, apart from the headband, pretty much everything else can be fit under $100. I did use a Raspberry Pi 4, but that is, again, you could use a Raspberry Pi Zero, which costs like $10. And again, all the other sensors are pretty cheap. Now, as for the headband, the one I'm using costs about $300, but this technology is becoming more and more common and a lot cheaper. And I've seen headbands that are like in the $150 range that can do similar things. And again, this is all becoming cheaper. So if I were to make another prototype with as cheap materials as possible, I could probably fit it under $300.
All right, thank you.
And also one major factor increasing the cost is that headbands like these aren't created to be used in other devices. They're created to be used standalone. So they have a lot of other features that I don't need. So if this were to be made a real device, you could save a lot of costs in creating the headband, since the actual electrodes themselves only cost a couple cents.
Hey, Ayush. I am curious about the noisy data that you're talking about. So you mentioned that you used, I guess, some algorithms that you found online in order to reduce the noise. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Okay, so yeah, so for the EEG data, the raw data is just a continuous stream of the frequencies from your brain. So there's actually two parts to the analysis of that. The first part is actually isolating each individual frequencies. Now, there's been research over the last couple of decades on this, and there's some frequencies that specifically correspond to brainwaves and some frequencies that are sort of irrelevant. So the first thing I did was I used the Fourier transform to just isolate these frequencies. And I just removed everything that's known to not be a brainwave. So a lot of the noise in the data is in the higher and lower frequency, higher than the frequencies of brainwaves or lower than that. So I could just straight up discard that.
Okay.
And then I also used something called a power spectral density. And basically that just shows you, it's a little bit hard to explain, but it's a form of Fourier transform. It's done from a Fourier transform, and it shows you how consistent and how common certain frequencies are. And in that, I can see that the frequencies that are actually coming from the user's brain, they're much more consistent than the noise frequency, especially those from movement. And by doing that, I can eliminate the frequencies that aren't as common, and I'm only left with the raw brainwaves.
Okay, gotcha. Sounds good. And have you considered maybe making alterations to the hardware in order to reduce noise as opposed to just software?
That is definitely possible. I didn't consider it for this project, but that could be something I look into in the future.
Okay, awesome. Sounds good. Yeah, very well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so we're pretty much out of time for the Q&A. And now we will move on to the next presentation. task manager with slimes. So if your team members are here, please prepare to share your screen and present.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Hello, everyone. We're Team Hot Dogs, and our project is called Task Manager with Slimes. My name is Caden.
And my name is Shinran. So problems with mental health are becoming more overwhelming under increasing stress from school and work. It not only affects people mentally, but also their physical health and emotional well-being, leading to lower academic success and illnesses ranging from depression, anxiety disorders to suicide attempts.
According to 1 in 4 students, or Harvard Medical School, 1 in 4 students reported being diagnosed with or treated for a mental health disorder in the prior year.
So, as we can see, the significance of mental health problems within our students. Our solution to this problem is by designing a website that includes a fun and interactive way for better time management that would enable users to plan out their daily workload and keep track of their everyday tasks.
So how does it work? Well, this website was built using Python, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, using the Flask and Bootstrap libraries, as well as the MongoDB database. For the user side, users can add tasks they need to do in their daily life to the task board. Then, when they complete those tasks, they earn coins. Those coins can then be used to purchase slime colors and other accessories.
Well, I'm sure many students, including myself, struggles from procrastination that causes stress and negatively affects our mental health. By having a clear list of tasks and rewards for completing those tasks, it allows users to have a better plan and encourages them to finish these tasks early on in the day. What makes our site unique is our slimes. Slimes are very adorable and customizable, and allowing users to have many options when creating their own slime.
According to the American Psychological Association, 80% to 95% of college students procrastinate. It's vital to address this problem because if this continues on, more students will suffer from poor mental health. Now to the demo. When we first go onto this site, we'll be on the home page. Then we can click the sign up button. When you create an account, all we need from you is just a username and password. We use password hashing in the backend to ensure that your account isn't stolen. Now we're led to the task board. When you create your task, all you really need is a title, a due date, so let's say 10 p.m., and a difficulty ranging from very easy to very hard. And if you want to add any notes, you can add notes, so like complete as soon as possible. When I click this add task button, you can see that the task shows up at the bottom. The reward here is based on the difficulty. As you see right now, our balance starts at 100 when you create an account, but when you click the complete task button, the reward gets out to your balance. On the shop page, you can see that there's nothing here, but we can fix that. With using our money, we can buy our first slime. When you buy a slime, it appears on here, and you can interact with your slime by clicking on it. We plan in the future to add more interactions. However, we're out of money, so let's go to the dashboard. You can see right here, our tasks completed are shown here, as well as the money earned, and you can choose a time frame. You can also edit your account by changing your username or password or deleting your account. Here, I want to delete the account, so I'm going to click this button, and it brings us to the home page. So I'm going to log into an account with more money so we can demonstrate the other slimes. But you can see right here, our task board is pretty full in this account. We sort the tasks by the closest due date, and late tasks are highlighted in red to ensure that the user knows what tasks they need to do. In the shop, you can see that we've unlocked a lot of slimes on this account. You can toggle the colors and change the colors, as well as change the accessories, like so. This encourages the user to complete more tasks, as when they complete more tasks, they earn more coins. With those coins, they can customize their slime even more.
So in the future, we plan to deploy the website as well as build a mobile app to allow users to access tasks on their phones. We also plan to add more slime colors and accessories while adding more interactions and activities that further enriches the user experience with their slimes. We also plan to include a friend system that allows users to create group tasks and projects, as well as a calendar view of their daily schedule and events.
And that's how San Angelo Slimes. Any questions?
Yeah, first of all, I think the slimes are super cute. They're super fun. Um, I know you mentioned that later on you were planning to roll out more, ways to interact with the slime and more features on the website itself. How do you ensure that students will, still be able to maintain a balance? That I can definitely foresee some students, getting kind of sucked into that, and then it ends up defeating the whole purpose because they're procrastinating their time with spending time on the website.
Yeah, I understand. So one of the ideas we had was, for example, unlocking more interactions or I guess doing the interactions themselves. So let's say you can, like add some other features like let's say feeding the slime. Those cost coins. We can still use a coin system and those coins will still be needed from the task as well. But we don't plan on implementing, for example, any games or anything like that because that still detracts from actually completing those tasks or those plans or whatever the user needs to get done. So we don't plan on adding anything that takes too much time.
So adding on to that, our website is created for personal use. So it depends on the user on what they wanted to do with this website. So it's a thing that kind of guides personally to themselves instead of like it's a competition that they need to compete with others, how their slime's gonna look like.
Do you plan on further developing this website to turn into a real thing?
Well, the plan is to kind of, yeah, I guess that is our plan, just to kind of expand on it a bit more, and we'll see. I plan on talking to some people I know and seeing if they're interested and seeing kind of what the public reaction will be, and if it's good, then we might release it.
Awesome. So have you thought about how to make money from this?
Not really. That wasn't really the goal, but I mean, I'm sure there's certainly a way, but yeah, it's just currently right now it's just on a GitHub, so right now
Gotcha.
yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, I would challenge you to think about that. I know like when we're building things, the number one priority is what the problem you're solving is and what the solution is, which I think you've already created a really awesome product for. So I think the next question is, what's the next steps for this? And, is it possible to monetize it? And if not, that's totally cool. It's like a fun project. I guess my last question is there is there anything that's like similar to this that I can use in the meantime until you build out the entire thing?
I'm not sure for tasks themselves, but kind of the inspiration for these ideas was an app I used that tracked water and all that. But right now, I think the closest thing would probably just be your Google Calendar or something along those lines.
Okay, gotcha. Sounds good. Well, I hope you build it soon.
All right, thank you. Anything else? Cool. All right. Thank you all for listening to our presentation. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah, thank you for your presentation. The slimes are so cute. But anyway, the next presentation is what's the moves? So can your team members please prepare to present? Again, the next presentation, what's the moves? Please have one member just share your screen so we can move on to the presentation. Okay, so I don't think they are here looking at the participants list, and that's okay. We will, for now, we will, oh, so actually there is a team that has a time conflict coding pandas, right? So if you're prepared and you'd like to go, you can go now. Yeah, so pandas.
Yeah, hello. Start meeting. So can I present?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So this is my app, Artline, the therapy art/emoji generator by me, William Joe, aka Coding Panda, for this 5th San Ramon Hackathon. First, I will go over the background of the problem, the solution to the problem, the constraints, materials, methods, screen design, and code of the problem of the app. Then I will go over the conclusion and future plans to extend this app's capabilities. Art therapy is an effective way to treat people who have ADHD and other neurodivergent conditions. During the art therapy, it's important for the patient to express their emotion, immerse in the artistic activity. However, current art therapy requires craftsmanship to achieve the artistic effect that the patient wants. Oh, sorry. But using the Artline app, anyone can create their own art by scanning their face or describing their emotion as a prompt. And this app will scan the user's face, recognize the emotion of the user, generate a computer image that matches the user's emotion, and take the user's text input to fine-tune the results. For the materials, I used MIT App Inventor to code this app. For the AI portion, I used a personal image classifier to recognize the emotions, and I used VQGAN to generate the images. I also used the web viewer component in order to showcase these two AIs. To test the app, I used a Samsung Galaxy S21 phone. Some constraints for my app are that because of reliance on PIC, the app will need huge amounts of data inputs and emotion recognition, which means that the user will have to express their emotion very clearly. And VQGAN and MIT App Inventor need more interlinking for the app to work. Methods in designing the app are that the PIC will be used in the facial recognition process to determine the user's emotions. And just in case, an image will appear for the user to input what they are feeling through the text box. The image generated from VQGAN will be presented to the user depending on their detected emotion. Here's the screen design. The start screen will look like this, where the user's face will be in this section, and when they press the Tell Me My Emotion button, then the PIC will recognize their emotion as positive or negative. Over here is an example. And as you can see, the VQGAN has generated a negative generated image. And here's my code implementation for your references. For my conclusion, the Artline app can recognize people's emotions as positive or negative. It can generate art as expected. It also allows the user to add text inputs in order to help enhance the emotion recognition process, and it can help therapists understand their patient, hypothetically. For future plans, I might add more images to the PIC for training, since it can get things sort of wrong in the emotion detecting process. I will also add more emotion labels. And in the future, when I have more knowledge, I could make VQGAN work more smoothly with the app so users can create art that they want. And that's it for my presentation.
Okay, thank you. Please, judges, Q&A.
So how long did it take you to build your first iteration of the product?
About a week.
Oh, wow. That's quick.
First
And what
half
did,
of the week was spent on training the PIC because I actually had to go through 3 processes. The first time, I couldn't really get as much training images, so I had to go onto the web to find some. And when I did find as much as I needed, the second time, it sort of overloaded the system, so I needed to shorten the list. So the third time was more successful.
Gotcha, cool. And what did you use to build it again? I think I might have missed that.
MIT App Inventor, I used VQGAN, another AI algorithm, to generate the images, and I used the personal image classifier extension from MIT App Inventor to recognize the emotions.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. I think that shows that MIT App Inventor can be used to build some very powerful apps. So
Yeah.
good job.
Thank you.
Okay, so if we don't have any more questions or feedback for now, we're going to move to the next presentation called Easy Nutritional Tracker. So if you this team is here, please have one member share your screen. Yes.
Hello, this is the Easy Nutritional Tracker, made by Rusty Rustations, Matthew Shaw, and Brian Law. So nutrition. Nutrition is essential to living a healthy life. Poor nutrition can lead to a variety of health problems, such as obesity, heart attacks, diabetes, some cancers, and much more. Problem. See, it is extremely difficult to keep track of your nutrition all the time. You don't know if you're getting too little or too many of specific nutrients. There's just far too many things to keep track of all the time. So what it is, it's an easy to use web application to track your nutrition. What this does, you can set and achieve daily goals for yourself. Easily log the food you eat. You can create food items with nutritional values that can be easily reused with just a few clicks. What we use. With the project, we use TypeScript, Svelte for front-end purposes, Dexy.js for a client-side database, Vite, and ESBuild for transpiling the TypeScript. How does this help? Now, tracking your nutrition is easier than ever. It becomes a quick action with just a few clicks. If it's easier to be healthy, more people can be healthy.
Okay, so we actually made a working prototype of this. So the website is hosted on GitHub Pages. So when you start, you have a goal and it's set to default values of like the average values that people usually want, but you can edit it. And for example, you can change the amount of nutrition you want to set as your goal. And then you can create items. For example, we can create an item called orange. And then for example, we can just put in the nutrition information. And for the ones we're tracking, it's just the main ones, especially it's on the ones that they put on the product labels for nutrition facts. So we can put that and then that. example, I'll just put some example values here. And then you can consume these items, which will change the total amount of nutrition you have consumed in the current day. And after you consume enough, for example, let's just add a large item. I'm just going to call it large item because I don't want to click a bunch of times. Let's just go with 300 here and then 200. And after you consume enough items, the check mark turns green, which means you have met your goals. And you can reset the current thing. For example, if it's a new day and you want to reset your goal, and you can remove the items. So what's interesting about this website is that we made it a progressive web app, so it can work offline. Yeah, you can install it both on desktop and on both Android and iOS. So if you want to install it, you can just install it as a progressive web app and it immediately gets installed. And because it's a progressive web app, that means it works offline using the service worker. So if you go to the website once, in the future, even if you have no Wi-Fi, you still can go to the website and it will still work. So it's completely offline, even if you don't have the site preloaded. So as you can see, the application, Progressive Web App, is basically the same. It's just a separate application that I can actually launch here from my desktop. So yeah, that's our presentation.
Okay, if the judges have any feedback, please go ahead.
I have a quick suggestion. Great job, first of all. I think for me personally, like I really like to watch what I eat. I think I care about fitness a lot. And so this is important to me, especially for my own health. One thing that I have trouble with is kind of like, I don't know all the calorie counts of my food that I take. Sometimes I just kind of like, you know, this seems healthy, so I eat it, right? Like I feel like I'm eating less calories, so I eat it. So I think my suggestion would be if you could figure out a way to allow me to easily add what I'm eating based on, like, let's say there's like a section for like meat, and then I can just click on like chicken, which you've already calculated for me, the number of calories, the number of grams of protein, carbs, etc. And then kind of give me an estimate. I think that would make the user experience a lot easier for me. And it would allow me to like use the app more consistently without feeling like it's a hassle, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we could definitely have some pre-built items that you could just select, or I'm sure there's definitely some API somewhere that will just directly, you hit it with like the item you want and it'll just immediately return to you the nutrition values.
Awesome. And I would also make sure it's not too cluttered either. I've seen apps where, they try to add everything on there. Like, they have like every type of orange or like every type of like meat or something like that. And then it just becomes too much, right? So, I think what's important is finding a balance between having a good amount of pre-built items on there, but also not having too many. But yeah, great job.
Thanks for your suggestion.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job. I think now if, yeah, please cut me off if, you have one last question or feedback for judges. But otherwise, we're going to move on to the next presentation called Hera. So if your team is here, please prepare to share your screen and present.
Okay, so our presentation is called Hera, and then we have two members in our team. And then So to introduce some statistics, over 300,000 women died during died during and after pregnancy and delivery in 2015, according to the World Health Organization, and approximately 830 women died every day as a result of pregnancy or childbirth-related complications. And then medical difficulties and mortalities associated with pregnancy are still a major concern worldwide nowadays. And maternal mortality is very high in many parts of the world. And almost all of these maternal deaths could be prevented by early diagnosis and prevention. So we decided to tackle this problem with machine learning because you can read certain data with cardiographies or CTGs, and then they're very simple and they cost, they're very cheap as well. And then we just decided to use machine learning to approach this problem and read the data from the CTGs to predict the health of the health during pregnancy. And then that's basically our and then also the inspiration for our project comes from the recent abortion talks by the U.S. Supreme Court regarding Roe v. Wade. Yeah, Jesse, do you want to talk about how the model works? You're muted.
Okay, so how the model works is that it takes in the data extracted from cardiotocography exams and it passes them through a trained model and makes a prediction regarding fetal health. So the predictions, the classifications are either 1 for perfectly normal and healthy, 2 for suspect, and 3 for pathological. Right now, this will help solve the problem because according to Allen et al., obstetricians have traditionally analyzed CTG data artificially, which takes time and is unreliable. So therefore, by using our machine learning model, we're going to be able to help health professionals make more informed medical decisions and diagnoses. Next slide. Okay, so how did we make our model? Our model was trained on the data set that can be found via this reference. It's also accessible via that link. And we basically utilize a variety of machine learning techniques in order to find the perfect model that can basically model this data. So we tried, for example, random forests, k-nearest neighbors, and decision trees. But what we ultimately settled on was extreme gradient, an extreme gradient boosting machine. So like that implemented in the XGBoost package. So now if we look at the model's accuracy, a lot of these are more like statistical terms, but basically just know that the model has an accuracy of 96%. So it is very accurate. Yangzi can now give a demo of the model.
So we have, we made 2 things. We have first a demo website and then the actual API. So we were hosting the website right now using Streamlit, and then this is a very basic demo website, but basically you can show or you can input the values here. For example, we have like the baseline value, the acceleration, the fetal movement, and all of these are available to doctors who have access to the proper equipment. And you can simply just predict the fetal health. And then for this one, it would result in a evaluation of 2.0, which is evaluated as suspects.
Right, but the problem with having the website is that you have about like 24 features or data points that you have to manually input in order to get the prediction. Now, this is obviously very inconvenient. So we've actually developed an existing API, a deployed API via Flask and Heroku. And what this does is that you can make a post request to the API in order to get a prediction. So I can now demo the API using Postman. As you can see, I am making a post request to this. This is our endpoint, Hera predictor api.herokuapp.com/predict. And here I'm sending a JSON of basically the data that we have extracted, a sample data point, which could be extracted by, for example, a doctor from a cardiotocography exam. So now after we send this, we just have to wait a bit. The first request will always take a little bit of time because postman has to take some time to basically warm up. But while we wait, I can talk a little bit more about how the model was created. But as you can see, we got a response of 2.0, which shows that the fetal health is suspect. But now we can, let's say, change the values of, for example, this data point. This is percentage of time with abnormal long-term variability. So obviously, if you have a higher percentage, then the fetus is more likely to be, what's it called? To be unhealthy. So let's see what happens if we send it like this. Now we get a request. Now we get a response of 3.0. Now, of course, this isn't the only data point that goes into like prediction. All of these have varying importances in predicting the models, in the model's prediction of whether the fetus is healthy or not. However, using this model, we're going to be able to solve the problem of how in a lot of rural and basically less developed countries, there's a shortage of experienced expert obstetricians that are able to help look at the, that are able to help look at, the data, cardiotocography exams and evaluate its effectiveness. And by using this, we're able to fix this problem.
Yeah, we're finished with the presentation now, so any questions?
Really quick, I just want to have the next team Pro Samaritans just be on standby, be ready when the judges are done with their feedback. Thanks.
I think this was great. I think this was really impressive, actually. All the different types of machine learning algorithms that you went through to try and find the best model that fit. I guess my only question is, how did you come up with this idea? Like, what was the inspiration, I guess, behind creating this specific solution?
So we were inspired to look at like fetal health from Roe v. Wade, and we were just looking into problems regarding that. And then we saw that, there's this shortage of expert obstetricians in less developed areas.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I actually did not know that. So you definitely taught me a lot of things today. So great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, not so much a question as just like a comment, but I thought you guys did a really good job. Thought this was a really cool topic. I've done a lot of research in this field myself, and it's like very staggering, the statistics that come out of the United States. But yeah, good job.
Thank you.
And a quick question, do you guys have like an intended target audience for your product? Like, is it for like any ordinary like mother can use it, or do you plan to like deliver it to hospitals or something like that?
Right. So the target demographic is really only hospitals, because I don't think an average mother can afford a cardiotocography machine. But if we can, just help people in developing countries worldwide, then that's basically the goal.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, that's the end of the time we have for the Q&A. So thank you to Hera for presenting. And now Pro Samaritans, please share your screen. Oh, unless you have, please let me know if you want me to play the video.
Showing
Are you playing a video?
Oh, it's not playing?
Yeah, we can't hear the sound.
Could you play the video then?
Okay.
Might have been an audio driver issue.
Hi, I don't think any of us are able to still hear the video.
Oh my gosh, sorry, I was muted.
Hello, respected and honorable judges and viewers. I'm Ian Myers from the IBA Innovation Team. Now please allow us to present you our app, which is called Pro Samaritan's Consultant App. It is practical, effective, and fashionable. Introduction of the app. Background. Considering the increasing number of violent issues coming up nowadays and realizing one of the root causes is mental health problems, all of us agreed to select the topic of improving mental health for this project. The historical and literal origin of the name. Pro means the professionals and specialists who work in the mental health field or have relative experiences. Samaritans come from a literal term in the Bible, the Good Samaritan, who was a good example of treating others with kindness and respect and helping them when they are in need, which also inspires and encourages us to believe and act in the way of love your neighbor just as much as you love yourself. Let's look at the front page of the app. As we can see, there are 3 different categories of people: employers, consultants, and university volunteers. Artistic and fashionable elements. Having thought and evaluated the possible designs from psychological and visual perspectives, we purposefully chose the warm, bright, and fashionable theme color, orange and yellow, to stimulate and catch users' interest and expectations at the first glance. A friendly and straightforward design style in many details of the pages enable the user to type in their information and get what they want rapidly and ensure the effective and consistent preference of our app.
Hi, this is Ben. I'll be giving everyone a quick demonstration of how to use the 3 roles that are presented in the app. The Pro Samaritans app's home screen contains 3 roles: inquirer, consultant, and university volunteer. In order to ask the app questions, we click on the inquirer button and input the username and password. When we hit the login button, we will be taken to the inquirer page where we can write our question and tell the program what field the question relates to. When we click the Get Answer button, the app will send out a list of 3 most relevant resources to aid us. We instead choose the role of the consultant. Similar. Once we input the username and password, we are taken to the consultant page. The consultant page contains the prompts for a quick biography, company name, fields the user is familiar with, and location. What the consultant inputs on this page will determine their compatibility with an inquiry. To differentiate between professionals and students, we have our third option, university volunteers. The login process is once again the same. Once we arrive at the volunteers page, we can see that there are similar prompts, except that instead of asking for the company's name, the app asks for the user's university name.
Hello, this is Annie Chen.
There are definitely more people benefiting from using this app, namely investors, headhunters, the community, and those who are just looking for friends. The app doesn't cost much to set up, but it does contain a huge commercial value for app investors in the market. In a nutshell, Pro Samaritan Consultant app is practical, efficient, fashionable, and investment worthy. We are the IBA innovation team. I stands for Ian Myers, B stands for Benjamin Zhuan, and A stands for Andy Chen. We hope our app reduces pain, trouble, danger, threat, or problems. And we do hope to bring benefits to every individual as well as to the whole society. Thank you very much for your time and wish you all the best.
Okay, please start with feedback, judges. Also, the iHelp app team, please be on standby. Be prepared to present soon.
Great presentation. I thought I enjoyed the first part of the video, especially the talk about the colors. I thought that was pretty funny. Well done.
Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Okay, iHelp app, are you guys ready?
Hi. Yeah, we're ready.
Okay.
So one of the team members isn't here, so we'll just play the video.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, thank you. Can you please play the video since I don't think it's working on my end?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll do that.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, and welcome to our presentation about the development of the iHelp app for healthier and safer communities.
I'm Jada.
I'm Jason. And I'm Nancy. The problem we're addressing is that people and animals are often in danger or need assistance and have no direct way of alerting others. There are some existing solutions people are using, but those come with disadvantages. To solve those disadvantages, we would like to propose an all-in-one app that includes a map, a mutual assistance network, and an info page.
This figure shows the user flow of the iHelp app. We also added many screens that will allow users to easily contact authorities or family members in situations of extreme urgency. We follow the agile approach methodology during the app development process. At each development cycle, we implemented and tested part of the app functionality. When we evaluated our app, we first made sure each page worked as it is supposed to. Then we checked if the page design was clear, prioritized, and accessible.
So we used the MIT app inventor to create this app. And here are all of the main pages. First, we have a basic login page, which users can either create a new account or log into their pre-existing one. Then there's the home page, which contains some randomly generated user-created posts, as well as the buttons that transition to the other screen. And then we have the post creation screen, which is going to allow users to create and upload posts whenever they need assistance. And now we have a map, which uses the Open Route API to show the location of a post, as well as nearby hospitals and police stations. This is the additional information page, which uses the Google Maps API to show some more details about selected location. There's the help screen, which lets users to quickly contact assistance in various ways. And there's the info screen, which allows users to see what happened, what to do in various emergencies. And finally, the settings, which allows users to change their login information or log out of their account. And our app functions Primarily using the cloud database, all of the data from a post is stored under this database under a single tag and ordered in a way that makes it easy to retrieve.
Our current prototype still has quite a lot of constraints. Obviously, we were limited by our resources, but in the future, we would want to further improve the functionality of our app. Throughout the development process, we did coding under one account and contributed from our own individual strengths and backgrounds. We learned how to use MIT App Inventor to develop an app to solve a practical problem and to work as a team to resolve challenges and accomplish our goals. And of course, app development is fun.
In conclusion, we use the agile approach and capabilities provided by the MIT App Inventor to design an app ensuring a safer and healthier future. Here's a list of references we used. Thanks for listening. Jason will now show you our demo.
Upon startup, the user is greeted with a login screen that allows them to sign up for a new account or log into their pre-existing one. After entering the correct information, the user is transferred into the home screen, which features 3 randomly generated posts regarding whatever kind of assistance is needed from the original poster. This page can be refreshed using the button in the top right-hand corner to generate a new set of posts. On the home screen, there are also various buttons that transition to the other main pages of the app. First, the post creation screen, where users can create their own requests for help. There are various details the user can include about their post, including description, location, and a way of contact. This data is all stored under one tag and ordered in a way that makes it easy to retrieve for later use. Next, the map, where users can see the location of a random post, or where they can view the emergency stations near their location or the post location. The See More button can also be clicked in order to find out more about that particular location. After returning to the home screen, the user can scroll down to see the Request Help button. This will transition them to another screen where they can contact authorities or reach out to loved ones in order to let them know of their emergency. Back on the home screen, users also have the option to view some emergency first aid procedures to use as reference in the case of a medical accident. And finally, there's the settings page, where users can log out of their account or change their account information. This will transition the user back to the login screen, where the account information changes will be saved for the next visit. And that's it. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you for listening, and Nancy and I are now open to questions.
Okay, judges, if you have any feedback, please go ahead.
I think one thing that I really enjoyed about this presentation was that you went into the technical details a lot, which I think is always awesome at a hackathon. I know you discussed you use a lot of different APIs, and you talked about the database you use in the backend, and you even kind of showed the schema of the database. So I think well done on that. I would say continue to come into future hackathons with that kind of mindset, and I think it'll serve you very well. Good job.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, Thera Journal, are you prepared to present?
Yeah, just let me share my screen.
Okay.
All right, is everybody ready? All right, I'll begin. Hello, good morning, everyone. This is a presentation to our app, TheraJournal. Here is a quick introduction to our team members.
Hi, my name is Alex Zhang, and I'm a 10th grader at the school.
Hi, I'm Barry Liu, and I'm a 9th grader at the Branson School.
And I'm Jack Yin. I'm a 10th grader at Mission San Jose High School.
For your table of contents, first we will go over our problem, what it is, and its significance. Next, we'll explain our basis for our solution. Third, we'll introduce what our solution is. And finally, we'll run through a demo of our app.
The problem is that mental health problems such as depression and anxiety are widespread issues which affect many teenagers nowadays. Especially during these last 2 years, the COVID pandemic has caused greater stress and pressure for teens, negatively impacting their mental health. According to the CDC, between 2009 and 2019, the percentage of teens who reported having persistent feelings of sadness or hopelessness rose from 26% to 37%. In 2021, this figure rose to 44%. If you look at the graph, you can see how the percentage of teenagers experiencing depressive episodes increased dramatically from 2006 to 2018. Because of this large increase in cases, this spells out a need for a solution to address these problems.
So next we'll look at some studies that we based our solution on. So the 4 studies we looked at were from JAMA Network, Natural Human Behavior, the National Library of Medicine, and Portsmouth University. And so what we wanted to look at were things that were associated with reduced vulnerability to depression and poor mental health. And what we found were that adults with positive childhood experiences had lower odds of depression or poor mental health, and performing activities such as positive memory specificity or positive affect journaling, which is basically remembering positive memories or positive journaling. Both of these activities were also associated with lower depression rates. And finally, looking at old photos, posts, or films were also effective at calming people with depression or anxiety. So this prompted us to come up with the solution TheraJournal, which is a journaling app for users where they will journal every day based on specific prompts such as how are you feeling today or what did someone else do that made you happy. And so after that, the app will rate the day, deciding whether it was a good, mediocre, or bad day based on how much the user answered negative prompts as opposed to positive ones. And after this, if it's not a good day, the app will perform something called memory matching, where they take positive journaling text from previous days and show the user and match it to the negative prompts answered today. And so if it's a really bad day, then the app will also bring out some external resources. So if we look at a flowchart for how the app would work, first the user would log in, then the app would prompt the user to enter data. This is the journaling aspect of the app. After this, the app would analyze the data and score the day from 1 to 5 based on how the user answered the prompts. And so if it's a very high score, then it was a good day. So the app would just display a joke or highlight or just congratulate the user. If it was a mediocre day, like a medium score, they would show some good passages from before, like good memories. And this would be the end of the app there. And if it's a very negative day, so a very low score, then they would prompt the user to maybe select a resource such as a hotline, therapy, or to contact some loved ones. And so here's a demo of our app, although some features haven't been fully implemented yet.
Hello, this is a demo to our app, TheraJournal. When you first click on our app, you will be taken to a login page. If we enter our temporary password, we will be taken to our homepage next. If you click on this plus sign on the top right, it will create a new entry. Click on the entry, and it will take you to this questionnaire where you fill out each of these questions for a daily entry. If you submit this questionnaire and our app detects that you are feeling fine, it will simply give you congratulations. However, if you fill out this questionnaire and our app detects that you are indeed feeling signs of depression, if you press the submit button, you will be asked whether you need external help. Click yes, and you will be taken to a series of hotlines that allow you to call your friends, parents, or therapy experts that will help you resolve your depression. Thank you for watching this demo to our app, TheraJournal. Hello.
All right, that brings us to the end of our presentation. Thank you for listening. Do you have any questions?
I have a quick question.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So like besides like your friends, like what are some of the other outlets that you included in your app? Like after in order to seek help, like what are some of the other options? Like didn't catch that.
Oh, it was parents and therapy experts as well.
So I think that's great. Another suggestion would be to like integrate like that sort of app with like a lot of people that have therapists, and that could also be a good outlet for them.
I really like the presentation. I think very aesthetically pleasing. I like how you started off with a problem and then came up with a solution afterwards. So yeah, definitely. I think in the future, make sure you continue to do that because it's very crucial to see what problem you're solving. So great job overall.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, judges, for your feedback. Now the next presentation is nutritionist app. So the team for this team, can you please share your screen now?
Okay. Hello, I am Evan Chen. Me and my brother, Ain Chen, made the Nutritionist app. Today we will be going over the introduction, research and solution, design, demo, and results, conclusions, and future plans. Last month, my dad got kidney disease. His doctor told him to use CKD diet while staying nourished. However, he found many times that he ate something that was not good for his recovery. He tried to reach a nutritionist, but they are extremely busy, so he could not even get an appointment. Only a few days later, my grandma had a stroke. The doctor said she needed nutrition to help reduce damage to blood vessels. It got harder for my mom to prepare the right food to help them recover. We searched for apps about nutrition guidance for patients. Unfortunately, there's no such app. We think we should build this app for our family and for all patients. Current problems. Currently, many patients need nutritionist help. However, most of them cannot reach a nutritionist. There's no existing app that support calculation for a meal or daily value. There's no easy nutrition diet planning and only nutrition apps for fitness purpose, no guidance or nutritionist advice for patients. Our solution. We have guidelines for healthy people, Weight Watchers, and patients with 8 most common diseases in the US. We can find nutrition info for foods. Our app includes the entire food database from USDA. You can add foods to your meal plates for total nutrition calculation and compare total daily value in your plates with FDA recommended EV and plan your diet. Get nutritionist advice based on your own conditions. This is the site map of our app. You start on the welcome page, and then you can enter the home page. From the home page, you can go to Guidelines, Nutrition Finder, and My Plates. From the Nutrition Finder, you can go to My Plates.
I use these features in the app. Constraints. It needs internet connection to access the food database. The nutritionist advice follows general disease guidance but is not customized to every patient. This is the home screen. This is the guidelines screen. Users can read or hear the nutrition guidelines for the conditions they choose.
Guidelines. While there is no special diet or miracle food that can cure arthritis and other musculoskeletal conditions, some conditions may be helped by making changes to your diet. People with inflammatory conditions such as rheumatoid arthritis may benefit from an increased intake of omega-3 fats. People with gout, a type of arthritis, may benefit from avoiding foods high in purines.
Users can access the whole USDA food database and look up complete nutrition facts. Users can add foods in specific serving numbers to meal plates and get total daily value for each plate in the whole day. These are all the plates and the total values.
Good nutrition, better health, better life. Consider cutting down your saturated fat intake and replace with some unsaturated fat. Please lower your cholesterol intake.
Users can plan their diet, get nutritionist advice on their plan, and adjust their menus. With different conditions, you'll get different results. Conclusions. The app has been successfully implemented. The app is running smoothly when tested on Amazon Fire HD10 and Samsung S6 Lite. We've learned a lot about health and nutrition for people with different conditions. We've also learned a lot of skills and technical components in MIT App Inventor. We appreciate San Ramon Hackathon giving us the opportunity to test ideas. Our app helped our family. We hope that one day our work can benefit the world. Future plans, improvements. Add image recognition function to add foods by taking a picture of their nutrition label or taking pictures of real foods. Expand the disease condition target library to cover more people. Make it a multi-language app. Add a discussion panel letting people discuss diet plans or share menus. Applications. We hope that this app can be used by more people. Good nutrition and better health is not only for healthy people, but also for patients. Don't leave them behind. We also hope that we can have more nutritionists join the society and use our app to help more people, patients. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Judges, please start with your Q&A.
Yeah, this was very interesting. Can I just ask how you guys obtained the data from the USDA? Was it like pulled from the website, or is there something special that you guys did in order to make the tables show up on your app?
With the FDA website, we found an API link there.
Oh, you guys use an API?
That API too.
All right, very nice. Thank you.
Just curious, what grade are you in?
I finished 6th and
I am in 4th.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, this is very impressive. I remember when I was in 6th grade and 4th grade, I didn't know anything about this kind of stuff. So big kudos to you two. I think you have a bright future ahead of yourselves. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so safe vacation, can you start preparing to present? Safe location. And let me know if I need to play a video. And also for just the teams that haven't gone yet, make sure, just let me know if I need to resend the order, the presentation order. And when the team ahead of you is going, make sure you have everything ready to present. I see the team members. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. Can we share our screen?
Yeah, share your screen.
All right, let's see.
Hello, my name is Neil.
Hi, my name is Alan, and we're both incoming freshmen from Pleasanton.
I'd like to introduce our project, Safe Vacation. When we started to think about this, we thought about the main health-related problem that people face today. And it shouldn't be a shocker, it's COVID-19. During this pandemic, many people were afraid to go out on vacation as they believed they would risk catching the virus. Not only did this affect your physical health, as the virus is definitely bad for you, but being locked inside for a week does not have a healthy effect on your mental health. So we asked us this question: how do we make a system that allows people to be able to travel safely without being at the risk of contracting COVID?
Our solution is to create an app that allows you to compare different cities and their COVID safety rates. It uses an algorithm that assigns each area a score based on its COVID statistics. It also shows the user, it also allows the user to compare different cities based on their COVID data. We use a custom API that we made that allows us to improve the speed and accuracy of our app. Additionally, our app pulls data from multiple sources to ensure that our rating is accurate, even if some of the information isn't available.
Our algorithm gives a rating out of 10. The higher it is, the higher your risk of infection. We use vaccination rates, population density, case saturation, and weekly new infections to generate this score. A score is calculated for every single metric, and then we take the average of the scores from every single metric to come up with our final score.
You might be wondering what sets us apart from things like a simple Google search or many other websites that also show COVID statistics. Well, the issue is when you simply do a Google search or go to one of those COVID data websites, you only get the raw data and nothing more. For most people, they might not know how to actually interpret this data. If, for example, they see a 15% positivity rate, like, what does that mean? Like, is this good? Is this bad? Like, how will they know? This predicament will only make people more confused about the safety of the places that they go to. To solve this, our algorithm compares data from multiple different trusted sources, including the CDC, and it gives you a risk score based on that data. This allows users to make an informed decision about the places that they visit. At the heart of our system is a Flask web server, which we wrote in Python. It can store data in a database, so it doesn't have to re-download the data every time a request is made. For the client, it is a website made using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Periodically, the web server downloads data from multiple sources and caches it inside the database. The client uses the OpenStreetMap geocoding API to get a geographical coordinate for whatever city was searched for. It then sends this coordinate to our custom API, where it takes this coordinate and converts it into a unique FIPS county code. It can then use this county code to get the COVID data for that particular county, which is then returned to the client. The client will then process this data and it will run the algorithm to figure out what the final score should be.
Here's some improvements that we plan to make in the future. We want to add more data to the algorithm, make the map more interactive. Additionally, we can add the search system account for minor human errors too.
All right, now we're going to do a live demo of our app. If there's anyone watching this that wants to use this for themselves, this is the URL, covidrisks.hs.vc, and our source code is also available here. Right, now we're going to go to our website right here. See, this is our homepage. Know where you go. This is our motto, I guess. And here's a quick summary of what the app does. And I'm going to launch the app, and here it is. On the left, there's a pane that allows you to search for a city, and on the right is a map. So we're going to search for a city. Let's say San Ramon. All right. Now we're going to load the results, and now here are the results for Contra Costa County, which is the county San Ramon is in. Now we get a medium risk, which means well is a medium risk, and our overall risk score is a 5.9 out of 10. And here are some of the statistics that we use to calculate it. Now let's try different cities, say Seattle. There, Seattle. We can see that it has a low risk with only a 4.5 out of 10 score. This is because see, there's the high vaccination rate, low infection rate, and the test positivity is pretty low as well. Let's do a city where the risk is relatively high. Kansas City. Right here, Kansas City. The overall risk score is 7.4 out of 10. As you see, a lot of this data isn't available, but our algorithm can function without that. Now, the vaccination rate is pretty low. It's only 58%, and that contributes to the high risk score. Additionally, the test positivity ratio is pretty high, and that contributes to the score as well. Now, does anyone have any suggestions for like other cities that we could try?
It doesn't
here?
have to be a big city. It works on any small town in the United States too. So like any city you want.
Any suggestions?
How about New York?
Okay, we'll do that. Then New York City has a low risk score, 4.2 out of 10. The infection rate is pretty low. Positivity ratio is very low as well. Yeah, basically that. There it is, New York. And any other suggestions?
Anything else?
All right, well, that's the end of our presentation, I guess. Feel free to ask like questions now. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I think this is very impressive. It's quite impressive that you have the whole user interface built out, and I'm actually playing around with it right now, and it's pretty cool. I think a question that I have is, yeah, of course, a question that I have is, so can you explain again? I mean, you don't have to go into too much detail, but how exactly is the score calculated out of 10? And have you thought about any other ways to make it a little bit more accurate?
Yeah. So let's for each metric we have an individual score out of 10. For example, vaccination rate. Let's do a city where it's actually available. Like
I think Pleasanton has it.
yeah, let's say we already did that before. Vaccination rate 82. So what we do here is say what vaccination rate would be the best. 100 obviously would be like the worst. I think 50 is probably pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
So then like we use that to like calculate a scale 0 to 10, and yeah, we basically do that for pretty much every one of these metrics.
Okay, got you. So then technically speaking, these are like risk scores relative to other cities.
No, their risk scores calculated by based on the city itself.
Actually, the county, because that's the finest data we can get.
If the vaccination rate is 50, then it gets a score of it gets a score of 10. If the score is
100, then it's 0.
It's 0. So that's how it works.
And if we wanted to improve the accuracy with this, we'd obviously just add more data points so that, like, say if some of them are missing, it wouldn't compromise the accuracy as much.
Yeah, so we like find different data sources where it's available.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Sounds good. Yeah, and I think the only suggestion I would make then is when I'm traveling in the future, one thing I consider is, kind of the trends of the risk. So I want to see like, maybe like past
that's one of the
risk
things
or
I thought of adding, but like time constraints, we couldn't really do that. Couldn't fit that in.
definitely sounds
we
good.
were
Yeah,
gone
so-
for the most. We were gone for
Yeah,
most of this week.
due to scheduling constraints, we actually started like Thursday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. In true hackathon fashion. Yeah. Well, awesome. I would challenge you to add that feature in the future then.
Yeah, we could definitely do that.
Awesome. Good job, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll stop sharing now.
Yeah, great job on your presentation and your project. Thought log, are you guys
All right.
are you guys ready to present?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so this is thought log by Suhas and I. Oh. So the problem. Among mental illnesses, anxiety disorders are the most common, affecting nearly 40 million in the US, which is 18% of the US population. Although highly treatable, only 36.9% of these people are receiving treatment. These disorders develop from a very complex set of risk factors, and because of the recent pandemic, these numbers have shot up. Our solution. Because only a small percent of people are getting treatment, our solution is to make a simple website that anyone can use. Our program takes the responses of a couple of questions regarding the mental, physical, and social aspects of the user's health. Based on the responses, activities are suggested to the user from a database. All the results from the program are logged in a database so the user can see how they progressed. The features in our project. There's a thought logging system that saves speech to text in a database, a face scanning software that saves results in a database, accessing database with 3 data tables for suggested activities, thought logs, and results of face scan, and suggested activities based on the activity's usefulness for others and the users in the past. So our program as it is just a prototype, and it's not limited to just what it is right now. Some things that can be implemented are data from a smartwatch, such as heart rate or sleep monitoring, connecting users, which can allow them to share thoughts, activities, geographical data, which suggests activities based on location and can also track movement and exercise, and phone activity, which suggests activities based on app activity, such as spending less time on phone.
So unfortunately, we did not finish our user interface in the form of a website in time for this hackathon. However, we have all of our backend programs finished and a Python program that acts as a UI. All of our backend programs are written in Python. The program starts by asking the user a couple of questions to determine their emotional state. It proceeds to get data from a database and display the suggested activities in a user-friendly format. The program then proceeds to scan the user's face using artificial intelligence. The program asks the user if they would like to view the results. The results are displayed with the dominant emotion being the emotion with the greatest percentage. Afterwards, the results are uploaded to the database. Lastly, our program gives user a chance to record their thoughts, such as if anything happened today that they need to be emotionally aware of in the future. Our program uses speech to text to convert the audio file into text that can be uploaded to the database. Our prototype lacks the professionalism that comes with a user interface. However, we plan on implementing this into our project in the future. With the amount of health and fitness technology around, the bounds of our idea are endless. And that's it. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Judges, if you have any feedback, you can go ahead now.
Great presentation, everyone. I'm excited to see what the prototype looks like when you build out the interface.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I believe we sent a video.
Okay, so I can play that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bonsai, created and presented by Ribs. Hello and welcome to Bonsai, created and presented by Ribs. Rohan Goyal, Iris Chen, Beckett Kraus, and Zachary Chang. First, let's go over a brief table of contents. We'll be talking about what Bonsai is, what it does, how it's important, and how it connects to the theme Better Health, Better Life. About Bonsai. What is Bonsai? Bonsai is an application that allows users to create and track personal health goals via a virtual garden. Once a goal is set, a plant representing the goal is placed in the garden. Users can grow plants through making progress towards a goal associated with the plant. Here's a small demo.
We divided our current model of bonsai into 2 sections, a timer and an area to maintain goals. The timer is useful because it has integrated intervals, motivating bonsai users to take breaks so as to not overwork themselves. The goals section allows users to add goals, remove them, and record their progress at the garden. These ideas are all very basic, and for a full-scale app, several new mechanisms would be implemented to make it more effective and appealing. As time passes and goals are completed, users add to their garden by growing a new plant or progressing the growth of another. This is a creative way to motivate users to finish their goals. In summary, bonsai is an application that users can independently change and customize to fit their health and personal needs.
Next, let's go over some features of Bonsai. Bonsai offers a simple and easy way to set and reach your personal health goals. Our application helps motivate its users with positive reinforcement through both optional reminders and visual gratification created through a personal garden. The end-of-day checklist also allows for self-reflection and changes to goals. Here is the process that a typical user would follow. First, basic and preset goals are set, as shown here. These basic goals pertain to basic health needs, such as getting enough sleep, limiting screen time, increasing physical activity and exercise, having a healthier diet, and being more hydrated. Here, personal health goals are also set. These are made completely by the user and could include things like completing a school project or getting something done for work. Throughout the day, goals are completed. If the user requests so, the app will occasionally remind the user to complete a goal. They can check back into the app at the end of the day and fill out a checklist with the goals/steps of goals that they wanted to complete, and the garden will grow accordingly. This is a great time for the user to self-reflect, self-improve, and receive a healthy self-esteem boost as they see how much they were able to complete. And then this cycle repeats as the user's goal garden grows even more.
We also need to know why bonsai is important in today's world. During the COVID-19 pandemic, both mental and physical health issues have risen across California and the US. From 2018 to 2019, 15.2% of minors and 7.2% of adults reported depressive episodes. Compare that to the month of May in 2020, where over 30% of California residents reported symptoms of depression and other anxiety-based illnesses. In addition to this, about 60% of adults in the US are overweight, and 15 to 16% of minors in California are obese. Furthermore, long-standing procrastination is also prevalent amongst most students. While 15 to 25% of adults report procrastination, anywhere from 50 to 70% of college students consider themselves a victim of procrastination. 50% of those adults consider the procrastination to originate from distractions caused by the internet and social media. Finally, 33% of US citizens don't get enough sleep, 42% don't drink enough water, and according to Time, only 23% of Americans are meeting physical activity guidelines during their leisure time. These are the primary factors that make bonsai important in today's world.
Lastly, let's review how bonsai connects to this year's theme of better health, better life. Bonsai creates better health for users by creating a way to track and complete tasks, which reduces the stress that comes with unmanaged time and procrastination. It also lets users reflect and improve independently upon themselves. Lastly, bonsai provides a way to boost self-confidence in users through positive reinforcement and display of progress through a virtual garden.
In doing so, bonsai can also provide the user with better life. Bonsai not only improves upon your health, but your lifestyle. Users begin to achieve personal goals, which can help them identify important values they can hold for themselves. And better physical health aids the user in being capable when dealing with athletic and illness-related issues. Thank you for your time.
Okay, so I think the team is here. So if judges, you have any feedback, you can go ahead now. And the next team, please prepare to present.
I like the idea. I think the concept is good. I think the presentation was very well done. This app actually reminds me of this other app I used to use called Forest. I don't know if anyone's heard of it, but essentially it's to prevent you from using your phone. And if you successfully not use your phone for like 25 minutes, it like grows a plant. And it was pretty successful. So I think this definitely has a lot of potential, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, great job. If no one has, none of the judges have any immediate feedback now, we're going to move on to the next group called Friend Me. So if you're prepared to present, please share your screen. And if you have any issues, just let me know.
Hi, so our group is called Friend Me, and it's by me, Dylan, and my brother, Henry.
Okay. Go to the next slide. Yeah. Social isolation is defined as the level and frequency of one's social interactions. Pre-COVID, this was already described as a behavioral epidemic. However, this has been greatly exacerbated due to pandemic restrictions, restricting movement and person-to-person interaction, especially in older adults and younger adolescents. This has led to an estimated 25% rise in anxiety and depressive disorders during just the first year of the pandemic. Meanwhile, mental health services were drastically disturbed, and the treatment gap for mental health conditions has only lengthened. This has led to a huge rise in loneliness, which has been linked to numerous physical and mental repercussions, including an increased risk for heart disease and general all-cause mortality. All this is to say, social isolation is a huge issue right now, with real-world consequences that needs to be addressed. So, how is it addressed? Well, currently, large social media sites such as Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter have taken off in popularity, which can allow strangers to connect all over the world. However, they are far from addressing the central problem of loneliness. You see, these apps often utilize profiles with follower counts, which encourage people to portray glamorized, less authentic versions of themselves for likes and follows. Plus, many of these sites aren't directly geared towards finding new friends in the first place, and often the people you chat with on sites like Instagram are already well known. Dylan, you are muted.
Sorry. Our solution is the Friend Me app, which is a casual networking app that helps you make new friends, and it essentially removes follower networks like the big social media giants, because those often have a stigmatized they put emphasis on popularity through follower accounts, which may de-incentivize people from reaching out to make new friends. And then it can also target people for miscellaneous reasons, like if you want to find people to start a club with, start a band, gather together to discuss a subject that you're passionate about. This app can be used to do all of that, and basically the goal is to connect people together who are all kind of on the same level. And another thing that we include is a simple interface, and because our UI is very user friendly, it can be used by anyone.
Our app will utilize open source software, such as the Linux operating system. Our app will also use large datasets and machine learning to connect people with similar interests. It will be hosted on reliable and widely used servers such as Apache, which also hosts sites such as LinkedIn. It will utilize the MySQL database to organize information such as messages and status updates. To prioritize safety, our app will not require personal information such as addresses. It'll utilize CAPTCHAs and anonymous report systems to ensure a safe, bot-free platform. Meanwhile, anonymous ratings will be used to influence how much people are promoted on feeds so that positive influences are rewarded. Like most mainstream apps, our app will be free, and our revenue will be generated from non-intrusive ads.
Yeah, so here's essentially the concept design for our app. Basically, when you make a profile, it's going to ask for like basic information like your name and your age. And also you create a bio to kind of describe yourself and what you're looking for out of the app. And then on top of that, and then the most important part of our app is the interest section, where you can kind of tag yourself in several different kind of categories that you're interested in. And the tags is how you how the app would kind of look for other people who share similar interests. And then going to kind of like what the app will kind of look like once you start. basically you can kind of using the tags that you initially put in, it will look for other people, kind of like a For You page that also share similar tags. And then you can also search certain like keywords that will also help specify the tags. And essentially then you can go read through bios and then message people. So essentially it kind of has the same it's kind of the same as like apps like Tinder or LinkedIn, but except in those situations, the networking on those apps are very kind of specific to, like, for example, Tinder's dating and LinkedIn is for professional networking. So here, this app is kind of more for casual networking, as we mentioned before. And that's basically it. Thank you.
Okay, judges, please go ahead for feedback. Thank you for your presentation.
So I have a question. Do you have like a test environment that's like already working, or is this just the plan for like what you'll be producing?
So we weren't able to set up a test environment for our plan, but we're pretty sure our plan will work because generally on the software side, it's pretty similar to apps that already exist. It's just that the idea, the framing of the app is in a different context, so it appeals to a different population of people.
Okay, thanks.
And do you have any concrete next steps for building this app, or was this kind of an idea that you just wanted to present at the hackathon?
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to start with as I mentioned before, we have a tag system that's kind of the foundation of our app, which connects people through, you kind of tag yourself with solid topics and that will kind of connect you. But ideally, our next steps would be to introduce a form of machine learning or artificial intelligence, because obviously like the tags will change really quickly with how society progresses, and it won't be able to and there might be a lot of like niche communities that form on the app. So ideally we would use machine learning to kind of figure out, to kind of more cater towards people's interests and connect people through more specific means.
Gotcha, sounds good. Yeah, that's awesome. I was also more just wondering if you were like planning on actually building it out within the next, week, month, year, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh yeah, for sure. So we already kind of like started, but we ran into some issues. So we thought it would be more important to show kind of like the concept of our app first.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, great job, guys.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Now we're going to move on to our next project called Street Smart. So if you're ready, you can share your screen, or just let me know right now if you need me to play a video or something.
Hello, I'm from Street Smart, and our three numbers are Mark, who won't be here today, Chenyu, and me. And our app is called Street Smart, brought to you by Safe. The problem that we want to solve is crime in the streets. Many crimes in cities often go unsolved. As you can see here in the statistics, only 310 cases are reported every 1,000 cases of sexual assault. And not only are the raw numbers horrible, victims are always affected for the rest of their lives, because obviously that's a very traumatic experience. Additionally, many criminals many criminals get away with their crimes. Only 25 out of 1,000 sexual assaults will ever be incarcerated. The features of our app, part of the solution, focus on security, and you can see first of all, you can see where crimes were reported recently. You can message people or call people when you feel like you're in a precarious situation at the touch of a button. You can also call 911 very fast once you open our app. Our first screen, which will be the screen that users will experience once they open our app, is really simple. It has the 5 contacts and then also 911. You can hold the button to call them, and then press once to call. I believe we currently only have a calling function of the calling function, but like because I haven't done some of the back end coding was done by one of the members who are not here today. Like for the exception of the 911 button, which is just a call. Currently, the function is only not set to 911 because we don't want to for demonstration purposes, and also because my Android device is not able to actually call people because it doesn't have a SIM card, but we can still demonstrate the app. The screen 2 of our app is accessed by clicking the map button at the bottom of the screen here, as you can see. And it has markers that will show where crime were recently. This is just like a little demo. And all the screens have a back to start screen button so that people who are using our app can immediately go back to the emergency call screen. Screen 3 can be accessed by the set contacts here button at the bottom of the screen. And this will allow users to choose people from their contacts list to set for the quick dial and text contacts, as well as set a message down here that they wish to send when you are single tapping the screen.
Okay, so the goal of this app is to allow people to like know which areas within the city they live in, which areas are dangerous, which areas are considered a lot safer. And then it helps them stay safe because they know where to go and where to go less frequently. This also helps collect data on crime through GPS tracking and possibly recordings later down the line. And this will also allow the police to know where crimes are more frequent, and then it'll allow them to have more police patrolling the area so that more criminals are caught instead of getting away with their crimes. Next. Yeah, so some plans we have for the future is that we want to show the times that the criminals have been reported or on the map. So like above will show like what time it was reported. And we also want an auto recording function triggered by like a quick button that records all the audio, the video, and then sends it to all your emergency contacts and possibly to the police, because then they'll also know, okay, there's crime in this area. And also just something else, we want to make our app look a little bit better. And that's about it. Yeah, thank you for listening. Are there any questions? Oh yeah, we have a demo.
Yeah, I'm going to demo the app real quick, but that requires me to go to the MIT App Inventor, which is, by the way, to make this app. I also put the link to the app in the Google Slides, but I can put that in chat right after this. Unfortunately, I cannot screen share with this, and the person with the device that was going to share originally was the person that's not here.
Yeah, that's okay. We can just go directly into the Q&A then.
Okay, that works too. Thank you.
Yeah, so you guys mentioned a lot about, this will help police track crime. What's your plan of getting law enforcement involved with the app?
We haven't quite, thank you for the question, by the way. We haven't quite gotten that part ready yet. That was part of our next plans, because then if we were to send recordings, because one of our the key part of our coming soon thing is to have, first of all, recording. So if you for example, shake your phone, then the app would know to start recording audio, possibly video, and also GPS. And then that could be also sent to law enforcement for further so that if more areas have more recordings or more reports, then they would also be able to know oh, that specific area needs attention in order to prevent more crimes from happening.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, overall, great job. I think it's very cool that you made it with MIT App Inventor. I encourage everyone, if they have it, to go ahead and give their prototype a test. And if you don't know how to do it, there's a companion app you can download. I think that's on the App Store and the Google Play Store. And if you just scan the QR code, you can play around with it on your own phone. But yeah, great job.
Yeah, I also have something to say. So do you think that this app could potentially like help parents like let their child out more often? Because I do have like a friend who lives in Vancouver and her parents are very paranoid. So like what would you say? Like how would you pitch this to somebody's like parent in order to like, let their child out more often? Or like how would you like promote the safety of your app?
Yeah, that's a good question too for kids. If kids have a mobile device, that would, yeah, I guess that would be a good way to help them stay safe, especially if we continue to develop the crime reporting and like kind of crime hotspot functions, where like we could have, remember from before I said we could have like which areas have more reports. If we continue to work on that, then this app could also help those children because when you look at the map, then you'd be able to see, oh, this area is like more dangerous, don't go there, or like take extra precaution when you go there, and also to set the parents to one of the emergency contact as well. This would give parents more security because the child could message them and also call them very fast if they just kept the app on their phone.
And later on, in case they do get in a dangerous situation, it's also a much easier and faster way to contact 911. And also you could, and also with the recording, if we do send it to the police, it'll allow them to respond a lot faster. So that's just another benefit.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for presenting. We actually have one more group that they, for some reason, didn't make it on the list that we had for all the submissions that we made last night. So this group is called Retreatland. And then if you're ready, if you still want to present since you're last, you can go.
Yeah, we're ready. Let me share my screen. Uh, okay, oops. My name is Brian, and I'm from Saratoga High School in California.
And my name is Kyle, and I go to Redwood Middle School.
So we made an app called Retreatland on MIT App Inventor. This is an overview of what we're gonna talk about. So first, some background. In this day, meditation retreats allow people to take a break from everyday life and improve their mental health and stress issues, and stress reduction is important in this day. And as meditation retreat centers are becoming more popular, retreat centers are often fully booked because people want to reduce their stress. Since there are no apps to look for retreats yet, people who want to go on retreats don't know what retreat centers are available and they don't know how to search for them. So in order to solve this problem, we made a Retreatland app that compiles a list of all the retreat centers in the United States so people who are looking to go for a retreat can easily find retreat centers. So for our features, our app has a list of all the retreat centers in the United States sorted by state and county. And this picture is showing the counties in California.
So every meditation retreat center on our app has a picture, a map showing the location of the retreat and the user's location, a link to the website, and a link to make a booking, and a short description of the retreat center. So here is some of our code for the app. We have on each retreat center screen, we have a back button, a link to the website, and a link to make a booking. And we have a map that shows where you are and how far you are away from a retreat center. Our app will make it easier to find retreat centers in the United States and to book meditation retreats. In the future, we plan to expand our app not just from the United States, but to other countries, include wellness retreats and yoga retreats, add a review system where people can leave their feedback, and develop a matching feature using AI to match what the user needs and what the retreat provides. And then I'm gonna do a demo on a phone. So this is our app, Retreatland. So far, we only have the United States. And inside, we have 4 states, but we plan to add more later. And here we have some counties in California along with retreats that we chose. And in particular, this is a retreat that we founded located in the Redwood Forest in Los Gatos Mountains. And here's a picture of the retreat and a link to the website. A link to make a reservation and a back button and a short description. Here's an example of another retreat center. So we have a picture, a link to the website, a link to make a reservation, a back button, a short description, and where it's located on a map.
Okay, thank you for listening. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, hi. Good job on the presentation. I was wondering how you chose the retreats. Was there specific criteria you followed, or was it just out of, or like for you, what defines a retreat?
We searched for retreat centers on Google and we looked through a lot of them and we saw which ones kind of were good retreats that people would like to go to.
Got it. Thank you.
And when you're deciding which are good retreats to go to, is that just based on like Google ratings?
Sometimes, yeah, but we've also been to some of the places, not just for a retreat, but like just to look around, and we have a little bit of experience.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. So you have a little bit of empirical data. Nice. Very nicely done. Good job, guys.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you. But we have one more team that was somehow missed from our list, and so we're just going to let them go now. If you're ready, just share your screen.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for the delay. I'm sharing my screen right now. Okay, and then can you see the slide? Okay. So our app's called Multi-Purpose App, and it's made by Robert, Henry, and Sarah and Sophia. And for some reason, that Sarah and Sophia couldn't come. And
Oh,
yeah.
I'm here.
Oh, you're here? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Okay. So, issues that we wanted to address with the app was that, especially during the pandemic, people started having bad physical health, and there was also a decline in mental health. Next slide.
Oh.
And so some additional information is that recent studies have shown that eating a well-balanced diet can increase mental health and boost a person's mood. A healthy diet has also been shown to result in decreased levels of stress and depression. Hydration is also key to a person's well-being, and staying hydrated allows your body to perform better in its daily tasks. Some examples include carrying nutrients and oxygen to cells, aiding digestion, regulating blood pressure, and etc. Research also shows that exercise is beneficial to a person's physical and mental well-being. Physical activity has been shown to reduce negative moods by improving self-esteem and cognitive function.
So
Okay, our solution for this is to create a multi-purpose app that addresses water intake, diet, fitness, and can also calculate your BMI through data that you input. The foundations of our app: maintaining your health in your youth. Especially in a pandemic, it is increasingly harder to be healthy, and we have seen that having a good lifestyle can lead to many benefits physically and mentally. But on the other hand, neglecting your physical well-being and has many negative effects, even when you're young.
Foundation of our app continue, and as we grow, we see people around us getting old. We see our grandparents losing their healthy bodies and our parents losing their good sleep at night. And these days, the stress from work and life hits hard on adults that they often neglect the importance of maintaining a healthy life. Those illness will not reach you when you are young and strong, but the older you are, the closer those illnesses are after you. Using our application, our user no longer uh, need to spend much time on keeping their life healthy, but just simply follow our app. As a result, their life become much healthier. The functions of our multi-purpose app, Diet Helper, which helps people to track their daily diet, letting them know how many calories they have been consumed and giving suggestion to their diet. Water Tracker, which helps the user to realize the amount of water they need every day and helps them to meet that goal. Fitness tracker, which reminds our user the importance of exercising and helps them to remember what kind of exercise to finish. And BM calculator, which gives our user a clear understanding of the level of their body condition, and they can use our app to help themselves. Why is it a multi-purpose app? So there are way too many applications on the market. As more applications are created, we found that it is inconvenient for the user to switch from one application to another because most applications can only contain a few functions in their own field. So we want to create an application that benefits its user by making everything more straightforward. And the user health problem and can be solved on all users health problems can be solved on this application. And furthermore, we hope that our application reminds people the importance of health. And there's two video of our app. So first one is when you enter your height and your weight, and we gave you your body condition and also calculates your IMV. So I'm just putting your height in a pound since you are normal body weight. And another video is the signing page and choose to the food tracker, determines how much food, how much calorie I've consumed, and it will continue remembering here for one day. And as I suggest putting food and putting calorie in there, they will keep it added up like this. And I think sorry, and yeah, question response. Feel free to ask any questions.
Really quick, what is your team or project called?
A multi-purpose app, just multi-purpose.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a structure. You can keep building things that relate with like to help people getting healthier. Can add everything on just a structure. And I hope in the future that more things could be added. So it can help our user more. Yeah, any other questions? All right. So thank you for watching. Yep, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much. Awesome presentation.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so it seems that all our teams have gone now. And so as for the results, the judges will convene again and then to discuss the final results. And the results and winners and awards will be announced through email and also on the San Ramon Hackathon website. So you can check for the results then. And I think it's going to be around, it's going to be within a week, I think. So yeah, you can check for the results then. Any other information is also going to be sent through email. And so, yeah, the recording is probably going to be put onto the San Ramon Hackathon website. And so really thank you to all the participants for your projects, your submissions, to the judges for giving your time to our hackathon. And a special thank you to Dr. Meng for his support, and also a very special thank you to our San Ramon Mayor, Mr. Hudson, for coming and attending the whole event, and for just your general support for all of our activities. And we hope that all of you continue to work on your projects and keep developing and keep trying to just keep doing what you're doing now, like innovating and finding solutions to any problems that you want to see us solved. So really want to congratulate you all for having such a successful hackathon and your great presentations. And Mr. Hudson, if you'd like to say something, please go ahead.
Well, one, it only took me about an hour listening to this to find the subject that I really I will be here and asking questions during the meeting, I should say, or the hackathon, if you do this subject, and that is the Renewable Energy Data Challenge. When I saw that on the hackathon website, I go, wow, that will really connect you with the future, not only now, but through 2030 and into the 40s. And I love listening to the presentations. It reminded me I had to do I didn't have to, but I did a speech at TEDx last weekend. And it's the idea of engaging people that you're speaking to. And it seemed like every presentation was able to do that today. I hope that you get more time to complete the ones where you said you were going to, because it's very impressive listening to all of you. And next time I will be here on time. I don't know why I thought you were at 3 o'clock. Now I get to go home and eat and come back for one at 3 o'clock. But again, I am already looking forward to next year. So hopefully keep it up. Amanda, great job. It's very tough keeping things on time. And this is a lot closer than I'm able to keep my council meetings. So good job.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for coming anyway. And it's okay that you're late. So if you have any more questions, you can just ask in the chat, or I will resend email. And then again, thank you for everyone for coming, for your presentations, for all of your hard work. Mr. Hudson, the judges. Yeah, thank you everybody. So it doesn't seem like we have anything else going to happen. So then if you have, so everyone, you can feel free to go and have lunch. And thank you for coming again.